Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. I'm out at Eagle Island State Park today and I've got a friend with me, Tania Gail, Tania Gail Adventures. She's getting ready to fly too. What are you flying, Tania?
This is my little baby Mini 2 and this is the big guy. This is my Mavic Cine 3.
Mavic 3 Cine, yeah.
Yeah.
You can shoot in ProRes with that baby.
That's the plan.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
yeah. So the other thing that we're doing today, we just we're over on the Boise River in Eagle, Idaho, and we did some flying. So now we're over here at Eagle Island State Park. We're so lucky to live in a state like Idaho that lets us fly in places, state parks like this. I know some places you just can't do it, but here we can. And I'm going to kind of pan the camera around. You guys are going to kind of see, we're kind of out in the middle of a field here. That's kind of the park proper over there, but you'll see it all from the air. But it's pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, this park is like 80 acres or
80 some acres.
Yeah.
And it is just spectacular. There's a pond. There's multiple hiking trails, horseback riding trails. It
multi-use.
Multi-use. It abuts up to a farm over here. It's just amazing. It's just so open, and you get a spectacular view, which you can't see.
Yeah. I'll turn the camera a little bit
of the mountains,
of the Boise front.
The Boise front.
So one of the other things that is interesting about this particular park, and I bet Tania knows, but I'm not sure. This was originally a state prison farm.
Yes, it was.
So it was turned from a state prison farm into a state park. So
yes,
which is kind of cool. That's why we have all this area and stuff.
Yeah, it's really, truly, borrowing a phrase from Montana, this is big sky country.
Big sky country. So anyway, I don't know what you're going to fly first, but I'm going to fly the Fimi X8SE 2022 version. You got to get those numbers right. And then I'm going to give Tania a turn on the sticks because she's never flown this guy before. So let's quit messing around, Tania.
All right. Well, you know what? I want you to fly first because I want to take the reins a bit.
You got
this one because this looks lovely. Then I want to fly the Mini 2 and I'm going to use the Maven app with this.
Oh, very good.
Because I'm finding it works better on my new iPhone than it did
14.
on the 14.
Yeah,
wow.
The big boy.
And then ProRes.
There you go.
This one. Alrighty, we got a plan.
We have a plan in place. Let's quit. I'll start over again. Let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Hey, okay, so we're ready to go here. I've got everything fired up. You can see on the pre-flight check, and that's one thing I like about this Fimi Navi app is it shows you that everything is normal, so you don't have to go messing around too much. We've got it in mode 2. I've formatted that SD card at home already. I did a firmware update before I left the house. Well, I did it last night. I can't remember the numbers. I will put that up on the screen for you to see. So we are running the latest firmware. We're shooting in 4K 30. We're going to leave everything in Doctor Automatic today. So starting recording now. And yeah, Tania, I'm going to take off.
Alrighty, I'm just getting my stuff set up here for after you take off. I'll be ready to fly.
Okay, here we go. Auto takeoff. And this is interesting, Tania. Hear the way it kicks the props?
Yeah.
Here, to kick the props out, it does that little, and it'll go up exactly 4 meters high.
Okay.
And it said auto takeoff completed, and there's the distance up there, and you can see 4.1 meters. It does that, and by the way, it does have precision landing. So so let's turn it around here, and we'll do a quick little droney.
Oh, it does have those types of features?
Well, we're going to do a manual droney,
okay.
But it does, yes, and I can show you that as well. On the count of 3, reverse and up now. And you can see, Tania, it's a pretty powerful drone.
And I like that it's bright white, first of all. So
it's easy to see, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Easy to see.
It's much easier to see. If I go out that far with the Mini 2, I'd lose it if I didn't have eyes on it the entire time.
Yeah. And I got a little, so if you look on the top of the screen here, Tania, that one is your FPV transmission, and the one next to it is the control transmission. And
where? Right there?
So yeah, right there. That's FPV, that's control. And we did get a little bit into we had a little bit of a control, or excuse me, an FPV went a little bit yellow.
like me.
They don't want to. We had a couple dogs here. Let's see. Well, let's back up. Let's get a look at them here.
They're cute. Setters.
Yeah, they came to see us. Those dogs came to see us, and they didn't. They just kind of sniffed around a little bit. They did. You know, Tania tried to pet. They didn't want to pet. So.
They're lost.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tania, I will point out to you. You can see 18 satellites locked there at the top of the screen, and that middle thing tells you, you know, that you do have GPS lock.
And we got 89% battery. There's your battery. And
Right.
12.2 volts. Good.
Right.
And then down here is your 4K 30.
Right. That's all
Okay.
the camera. And of course, I've got it in automatic right now. Let's go in here. I want to look at. It says it's in sport mode, but I don't. Let's go in normal mode. I had problems when I was flying it out of the canyon in changing modes. So I'm going to try real quick.
Sure.
Speed modes here. So we just switched it into normal mode. I'm going to kick that camera up a little bit, get that rule of thirds, and we're going to go full stick forward and see how fast we get up to. And yeah, horizontal speed, 6 meters per second. It should be faster than that in normal mode. So I'm not sure what's...
It looks like it's just kind of cruising.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back in there. I'm wondering if they don't have these labels mixed up. So let's go to smooth mode, which is going to be... Oh, now, look, it told me to turn on sport mode. So I'm still telling you, and we clicked on smooth. So let's cancel that. Let's click sport mode and see what it says. I'm wondering if they have these labels wrong. Okay. Sport mode.
I'm going to watch it see what's going on.
And I'm going to do a full stick forward right now.
Oh, it angled down?
Yeah, it's pitching forward, and it's at about, 13 meters per second. This is faster than that. So here's what I'm telling you. These labels are wrong on here. So we're going to turn it around. We're going to come back the other way. You're going to see this guy really go here in a second. And we're only about 14 meters high, but of course I'm facing away from the drone, so that's why we're getting a little bit of, you can see where we were in red there for a second. But that's okay, we're not that far away. Let's go back in there again, and we're gonna go where it says smooth mode, but that's really sport mode. We know that now. So click on OK there. And this guy is gonna haul the mail here now, Tania. Full stick forward right now. I grabbed a little altitude there. So we are up to 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 meters per second.
On smooth mode.
Well, it says smooth mode, but that's really sport mode.
That's sport mode, my friend. Look at the angle.
That baby is... I flew it over the top of us here, and it is pitched forward like no other. This is a sporty little drone.
Yeah, it is. So... any safety measures here? Does it have any collision avoidance?
It has no obstacle avoidance.
Okay.
Look at that thing move around. Okay, we're going to bring it in here, and we're going to let Tania take the wheel here in a second. I'm going to put it back into normal mode for you, Tania.
Okay.
Put on the brakes. And so just for the sake of our audience, Tania would never handle a drone like that, right? You would never see it making those kind of moves.
No, no.
We kid around about that all the time. Okay,
it says
sport mode, but that's going to be normal mode.
Yeah, of the three, it wasn't.
And so Tania, what I was explaining to Tania earlier was the drone. It's not like our DJI drones where they just like they're hanging from a string. You can see it moving around a little bit. I have no hands on the stick at all. It's moving around a little bit.
It
almost all right.
Reminds me of a Phantom 2, like the Addy mode. Like you'd watch the drone and it sort of would just start doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's put you up. All right, and we do have our little. All right, we can shimmy. We can yawn. It's fairly responsive.
Yeah, I like the controls on it.
Yeah,
I think they're good. I mean, you know.
And I will.
By the way, they're adjustable too. You can adjust all that in the app.
Oh, okay. That's another question I had.
Yeah.
That they're customizable too.
Yeah.
because you know I have mine adjusted.
Right.
We make no hard turns
Yeah.
in Tania videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, the way I fly screaming up and put it on the brakes, you'll never see Tanya do
No.
that.
Let me see, let's get some altitude. Does this have any type of like a fencing that you could put on? Like with the Maven app, I can set up a height and distance fencing that say...
You could put it, you could limit the distance.
Is that like...
Just like you could on a DJI drone, you can limit the distance. Or you could put this in beginner mode. And then waypoints, it does have a waypoint function, so yeah.
Let's see, come back. Come on, you. Full stick back. Ooh, that's moving.
Yeah, then that's in normal mode, so it'll do, I think, what did it say, probably 13 or 14 meters per second at full speed.
Yeah, we're doing about 13 right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Slowly.
Yeah,
Nice.
It is a responsive drone, no doubt about it.
Let's do some, come on.
But the remarkable thing to me about what is probably most remarkable about that product, this product, Tanya, is that it's $450.
And I'm going to tell you something right now. It's very level. You're not seeing those horizon level issues like you did with Hotel.
Well,
that's why I'm doing...
That's one thing that plagued the earlier versions of this drone was that it had a crooked horizon. And like you, it looks pretty good to me. I've not seen any big horizon issues.
It's on the ground.
Bringing her down.
So, can we try an auto land?
Yeah, so if you want, let me show you. There's two ways to do it.
Okay.
You could either do where the H is there on the app, or this guy, you slide that over, and that'll put it into return to home. Yeah. So we're trying that. She did it on the...
I did it on the console itself.
Yeah, so it's rising to its return to home height, and it will come down. This should have precision landing.
Okay.
So we'll see if it'll, and you shouldn't have to touch a thing. Yeah, and it's coming over the top of us here.
I'm actually quite impressed. Look at that horizon line.
Yeah, it's perfect, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I am, of course, seeing when you're holding steady, it's not quite as rock solid.
It moves around a little, doesn't it?
Only a little bit.
Yeah. So it's starting to come down, and it's pretty close to the pad here.
And it's telling me right now landing pad not...
Just keep watching it, and you'll see it, and it'll say detected. Yeah. And it'll move over. Now, what I have seen with this drone is it'll get right off, it'll get within a foot of the pad, and then it'll move off a little bit. It'd be right, but we'll see. It looks like we're going to be pretty close here. Well, I think we're there, Tanya. I think this is dead on. Dead on.
Absolutely.
Beauty.
Yay. Please toggle auto return switch to left. Okay.
Yeah. So that I've made that mistake before. So next time you try and take off and you're going, God, why can't I engage the props? Well, it's because you have that still in return to home mode. Yeah.
Nice. I'm kind of impressed.
The other thing I want to show you is it automatically stopped recording once we landed.
Oh, I did not notice that.
So that you don't ever have a corrupted file. It closes out that file.
Or you're just wasting space. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we still have 60% battery. Let me show you some of the intelligent flight modes.
Right. Let's go do it.
So I'm going to do. Well, I was thinking of manual takeoff. Yeah, let's do a manual takeoff. Well, no, precision landing.
Precision landing.
Let's let it find its own spot. So I'm going to turn the drone around. I am starting recording again now and hitting takeoff on the app. It does that double kick of the props. Then it'll go up 4 meters high. And Tanya, if you watch it here, you'll see it'll get right up to 4 meters and it'll stop.
Yes, it is.
4.1. And I always give it a second because I think that's that downward sensor looking, okay, that's where the landing pad is, etc.
In my memory.
Yeah. So let's turn it around here, back it up, get it in front of us a little.
And if you notice another thing, can you have the drone just fly right overhead of me?
Oh, yeah.
I want to see an angle of... And it's just one thing I've...
You mean high speed or?
No, I'll walk you out to it.
Oh no, that's okay. You want to look at the bottom of it, yeah.
Yeah. What I'm seeing is the camera is recessed back from the front of the drone.
Yeah.
So if you smash into something, it's going to hit that before it
Yeah.
hits the camera.
So sensors are a little simpler. Look at the bottom of this thing. So I'm going to come down just a little
Okay.
so you can see it better. So that's a sonic sensor under there. The one in the front,
Yeah, that's sonic?
that's sonic. You'll hear it click, click, click if you've got it on the ground. And then the little right behind it is the camera, and that's the optical flow sensor. So, you know, well, let's bring it down just a little, and I'm going to stay clear of this guy because I have respect for it. But see me push it up? Well, it didn't really push up, so I'm going to say whatever I was doing didn't work. But anyway, those are the bottom sensors.
All right. So these are actually some important things when you're looking at a drone. You kind of want to make sure your camera, which is a very valuable part of your drone, that it's somehow protected. And this is at least recessed behind the front piece. So that's actually pretty good.
So we're in intelligent flight here, Tanya. Yeah. Let's and I'll just show you through. You got tracking, you got tap, fly, droney, waypoints, orbit, spiral. We'll start with spiral.
Okay.
But in the other flight modes, you have cinematic mode, and what that does is the drone you let off the sticks and it'll overrun a little bit, so you don't get abrupt movements like you always tell me to do.
Yeah.
That's the drone will do that automatically. It'll keep, so you have to keep that in mind because you could run into something.
Right.
But that keeps it from, you know, smooth. And then tripod is just what it says. It puts it in very, very slow mode. Course lock is just as it's described. You can put it in course lock, and then you can yaw the drone however you want while it's flying in a consistent direction.
Yep.
Fixed wing mode flies like an FPV drone.
Oh.
And then SAR is interesting, search and rescue. What that does is search and rescue mode gives you digital zoom with the camera, and I think it's not very much, it's like 3x or something. But then it also gives you GPS coordinates. So you could, for instance, if you were looking for somebody, fly over the top of them, okay, here's the coordinates. They're right on the screen. Yeah. Do a screenshot or whatever.
Right.
So that's what that's all about.
Actually, that's a kind of unique twist or a unique feature of a drone, which leads me to always drones for good. That's a wonderful thing to have.
Right. So we're going to click on spiral.
Okay.
And it'll say set the central point of the radius, and the drone will fly around. So we're going to do that. I'll show you how we do that. We are going to bring the drone a little over the top of us here.
Yeah.
Right there. So that's close enough. So I click on settings center right there, and it gives me an arrow. And then if you look down here, I have to move it back. You know, the distance, I have to move it back till that turns white. So, so I'm going to go next. And, well, we need to move it back first. So I need to move it back. And let's go back a ways here.
Then you're going the other way.
Yeah, there we go. 5.3 meters. So at 5 meters, it takes that command. So now we're going to hit the arrow. And then here's where we set the radius. Let's crank this baby way up. Let's go. Let's do a pretty big one here. Let's go 100 meters.
Wow, yeah.
A little over 100 meters. So that's going to be pretty big. Now, clockwise or counterclockwise is our choices there. That's what CW and CCW. So we're going to send it clockwise.
Yeah. And
then auto return. And what that, when you engage that, it will come back to its starting spot. So yeah. So let's click on auto return, and then we're going to click go. And let's adjust the camera down here a little bit. We want it looking at us. And we're going to click go. And it'll take it a second, and it'll start its spiral here. I noticed, that's one thing I've noticed about this drone, is it always takes it a second to transmit that data back to the drone, and then it goes. So
what type of connection are we talking about from controller to drone?
This is their version of OcuSync. They call it RockLink, ROK link.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that on the successive drones, it keeps getting better and better. I flew this drone out at the Snake River Canyon yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to tell you how far I flew it, but I flew it a long ways.
Okay, there we go.
And it had no problem. And look, it's keeping us right in center of frame.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's doing that spiral.
And it's really holding well.
Yeah, and this is giving folks the
Really,
view of the park here where we're at.
yeah, the vast open spaces we have here, and it's just good actually to get outside, get some vitamin D, have a little bit of exercise. It just
So now it's returning to.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
I have my eye on you.
And it should tell us when it's completed here. I think it'll tell us.
Alrighty.
Yeah, see there it tells spiral mission completed, it said.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back in there again. And again, it's this little kind of Android looking guy that I click on.
All right.
So I'm going to let you choose. What do we want to do next?
What is Smart Track? It's in beta.
It said beta for the last 5 flipping years on Fimi drones, but it actually works quite well.
Let's try it.
So we're going to go into Smart Track. We're going to do.
I'll do a profile.
Okay, profile. I'm going to do profile, and I'm going to make you the subject here. Give me just a second. Dragging a rectangle. There's Tania. I'm clicking go. Hold it. Hang on a second, Tania. Yeah, the flight height is too low. I need to raise it up. I kept getting an error and I wondered what that was about. So I'm going to start over here. We're going to draw that. Sorry, this will take me a second, Tania. Okay, it's got you. Yeah, so it'll stay. In other words, even when you turn around, it'll stay on that side. It's got you.
Well done. And it's staying to my side.
Yeah. Yeah. If only, oh, we're about out of battery here. I'll have to land it. But if only Autel's tracking worked that good.
Ouch.
Okay, so I stopped tracking. I'm going to turn it around, back it up here, pick up that camera. I'm going to do another big old droney here, but we're going to go out this other direction away from people. And let me get over the top of, yeah, low battery, land ASAP it says. So reverse and up. And then we're going to do, see if we can get another precision landing. And that's me picking the camera up. We're going to get out there a ways. Let's go out there a ways, Tania.
All right.
We're 150 meters. I'm still climbing 200 meters. 250 meters. Let go of the sticks. And I'm going to do a return to home. I'll show you on the app. So I hit RTH on the app. And then it tells me right here what it's going to do. Return to home. And here it comes. And hopefully we'll get another landing right on the pad. One thing I noticed about this guy is when you put it into return to home, it doesn't just accelerate up to full speed immediately. It slowly ramps up its speed.
Yes, I noticed that. DJI has it's more responsive.
And the battery meter's along the top there too. If you look, you can see home is there on the battery. And if we'd looked at it earlier, you would have seen that white all the way across. So it's the battery meter here, but also along the top there.
Oh, this line.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay, I'm dropping the camera down, so we're looking down. Yeah. It's pretty close over us here. Landing pad not detected. It's way off now.
Look at us going like, no big deal. It's way up there.
We'll see what it does here. We'll see if it sees it eventually here. What I found with not just Fimi drones, but when you start using intelligent flight modes, it kind of throws precision landing into a funk. Yeah, and it's telling me landing pad not detected. It's looking. We are going to stop.
And then pull it over,
Yeah, so I stopped that auto landing because this is fairly deep grass.
Yeah.
Dropping that camera down so I can see what I'm doing here. We mowed some grass.
Oh, I heard that.
But did you see the way it pushed off there at the end? I mean, I was over the pad, and then at the very last second, it moved forward off the pad there.
Is that soft?
Well, it's that cushion of air. So
yeah.
Most drones, when you put them in landing, like if you see the Skydio does it especially, it literally shuts down the props a foot above the landing pad, practically. You know, it plops right down. And DJI drones slow the
props.
Yeah, this guy, it still keeps them going, and so it tends to kind of move off. I've seen it on all versions of this drone. Okay, let me get everything shut down here and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, so the Fimi X8 SE 2020, took it up. We did a few tricks with it, flew it around a little bit here, but more importantly, it was Tania's first experience with any Fimi drone, right?
Yes, that was his first time flying a Fimi.
Yeah, so I'm just be interested in your impressions.
Wow. Actually, I am really impressed. What I found was it had a level horizon. The controls were really responsive. It has a lot of robust features in its software. It's not exactly DJI. I mean, we did see when it hovers, it sort of drifts a little bit.
Right.
But if budget is an issue for you, this drone packs a punch. And also the follow mode. The parallel follow mode actually works, unlike DJI.
Tania got her exercise in the parallel follow
I
mode.
need it.
However, the point being that this is a full-sized folding drone, full featured. It does not have obstacle avoidance, but any of those other features, including waypoints, it does have, and it's $450. I bought mine on Banggood.com is where I got it. And $450, it's amazing.
And to think about when I started with a drone that cost a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
And it had no obstacle avoidance at all. And boy, do you learn how to fly when you know your drone is on the line.
Yeah, your drone is on the line, yeah.
I go back and forth. Obstacle avoidance is a great safety feature to have. But if budget is an issue, it's about good flying. You should be aware of your environment, what you're flying in. Always have line of sight on your drone to help prevent collisions like that, and fly safe. So the fact that it doesn't have collision software in this or sensors on this shouldn't detract it so much, especially if entry level and you're just stepping in.
Right.
Because it really has a lot of other features. It has a great, strong, rock hard connection between the drone and the controller.
Yep.
As well.
Yep.
And pardon the pun, because it's called what? Is it called rock?
It's called Rock Link.
Rock Link.
Yeah, Rock Link is what they call it. I had to think about that too. Anyway, this is Marcus Crawford and
Tania Gail from Tania Gail Adventures.
Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. That's about it. I'm kind of getting it out of order here. But yeah, of course, we'll see you on the next one. The Fimi X8 SE. This is the 2022 version. See you guys later.
Happy flying.
See ya.